circuits in Italy and in the world for that matter. You join us for the very first round of the HFSBK Ride 6 Championship. We have a stacked grid coming towards this first round we have in the championship. The R7 Cup supports this championship, but we are unfortunately not able to get it on today. But that will appear in the future. That you have to thank the master and servers. But you are joining myself, Riley Davis, in the commentary box alongside me, Jack Hammer, two-time MotoGP Sport champion, and we will be taking you through all the events that are coming away here at Vallelunga. Jack, last season in this championship, which was known as the Sport Bike Cup, was truly amazing. Arguably the most hectic and eventful final corner we have ever seen, like in the history of motorsport ever. So let's hope that we have some similar drama. But yeah, what do you make of that season? Do you think we'll be able to see a similar situation with some bikes? Oh,
yeah, I mean this. Oh, Henry's gone. So bad news for one of the championship favourites for Henry. He's DC'd already. It's been a disastrous night for everybody involved, but Henry mainly due to the fact that he saw the admin for this championship and it's just gone so wrong. No fault of anybody's, especially his. Just the milestone Ride 6 servers causing havoc with everybody. But yeah, going to the Sport Bike Championship last season, unbelievable. It seemed like the championship was pretty much sewn up halfway through, and then the championship took a massive turn on its head, and we had an incredible three-way scrap at the end, and it was won by the person who we did not expect to win through any of that race. Well, apart from maybe after following lap 1, we didn't think it was going to be any. It could only be what was it? It was going to be Finley or
yeah, Finley, Henry, and
Ross. Henry, and then out of nowhere, I crashed at Goddard's, and Ross came out of nowhere to win the championship. So yeah, it's gonna be hard to beat, but you never know. But yeah, Vallelunga, I used to love playing this track on the old SBK games. So hopefully it can bring some good action. I do wish it was kind of at the end of the season though, because both years that the Superbike Championship rode here, the championship leader went and crashed at the final hairpin with the final few laps.
Yeah, well, or who was expected to be the championship leader after it? I mean, based on what we've seen in the many practice lobbies that we've, played in over today, going into this, event, and it's all skis goes down. I'm not overly. He's not been here before in the Sport Bike Cup previous, and it's his first time in the HFSBK Championship, as it is for everyone, but it's hard to sort of mould it together as he goes down again. But it is at the moment BMW on top, and it is Finley Cottenham, the man who led the championship into the final round by 2 points ahead of Henry and Ross, and then it ended up being to the last corner that Finley was taken out by Henry, which saw Ross come through at Donington Park to take the championship win. It was incredible, wasn't it, Jack? The battle all the way to the last corner alone was, insane. It was just unbelievable. Not only, though, did we have an amazing battle between the two of them, we had it go down to the last corner and then down to the floor, because Henry collided with the rear wheel of Finley's Suzuki G68R. And so, yeah, the Scot ended up taking the championship win. And a bit of meat to add to the story is that he had a broken wrist at the time, did the Scot, the man, as we see here on the CBR 1000. So that just adds even more drama to that situation. And now, with Henry not being around for this one, adds even more. So I think we're in for some really exciting racing. Henry was definitely the favourite to win. So now we could be seeing some really tight fights for what would have been second place, now first.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Henry, in the past two championships he's competed in, it's no real secret that he's been the favourite to win it. Going into the final round, he's definitely like, okay, Henry's going to win this. And he finds a way, he's got the championship in his hand, and he finds a way to let it slip from his grasp. But, third time's the charm. But he's already on the back foot. He will not be riding. I don't know whether he'll get points, because he did turn up. So I don't know whether it work that way, that if you turn up and you get points, or if you just don't finish, you get no points.
It's hard work tonight.
Yeah, but he will be, minimum he's going to have 5 points. But, it's a long season, so yes, it's a big knock, but there's still a few races to call that back. It does add the pressure on, but I have no doubt in my mind that Henry will be in the championship fight come the last round in this championship and in the R7 Cup as well. But yeah, just that whole last race, the fact that I think we sort of both just forgot that not that they existed, but because Ross had crashed early on, and it was sort of like, well, it's Henry versus Finley here, and then they both go down, and then out of nowhere, Ross, who set the fastest lap, the previous lap, crucial. That was very crucial because that was probably the few attempts he needed to take the pair of them and win the race. Well, not win the race, but win the championship. So yeah, it just proves that you should never give up. You should always keep going because you never know what's around the corner. And for Ross, around the final corner was the Sport Bike Championship. So yeah, hopefully we can go down to the last lap, to the final corner of the final round in a few months' time at let me just double check the track, Brands Hatch. Oh, where better to have it through clearways in the Clark Curve.
Yeah, we can't wait for this season to progress through, and we'll get a story of how the championship forms. But don't forget, back at Magny Court, we saw Henry not score any points because he disconnected halfway through the race in the Sport Bike Cup, and that was a 6-round calendar. Yet he was still able to pull the gap back and get involved in the title battle, right to the point where it was 2 points separating himself and the championship leader. So with this being a much longer calendar, definitely do not put Henry out of the championship fight. But Finley Cottenham now, the man leading the championship into that final round, as I briefly mentioned, currently riding the Rocket BMW M1000R, getting the rear wheel in the air, top rack style, just like he would have done on the M1000R in the previous 2 years. He's now at the top of the session with a 33.6, still improving though, but not too far off there is Has Sutton in second with a 33.9. We're already starting to miss Henry because the gaps are starting to improve. Grow even between Finley and the rest of the field, but right, it's good to see how Sutton up there and competitive. He had a bit of a difficult start to the season in Sport Bike Cup. Flashes of brilliance, couldn't quite make it work, but now, I mean, off the back of that race win at the end of the Sport Bike Cup, arguably the most eventful way to take a race victory ever, to have the two title rivals crash in front of each other on the last corner of the last lap, while you're behind them and at that point had led a good chunk of the race. It's certainly one of the more famous ways to win a race, you have to say, but nonetheless it was a race win, and one that has clearly affected the rest of his confidence for the season, because being second in qualifying and this close, he's the only other rider in the 33s. Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't like he just inherited the win. He was fighting for that win that entire time. He did not care for Henry or Finley's championship battle. He was making really aggressive moves. He was in that fight from the word go. He got on the slipstream and made Henry and Finley's life an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, he certainly
But he took that win, and he's taken the confidence with it, as you said, and he's coming around the final corner now, up to the line. I don't think this is going to be an improvement. No, 9/10 off. But yeah, I think, it's all you need. So many times you've seen a rider win the final race of the season in a championship, come to the next year, and bang, they are championship contenders. So we could very easily see the same thing if Has can have a bit of consistency.
Yeah, let's hope so, but that is the end of the qualifying session very quickly, and it's pole position, at least for now. It doesn't look like anyone else can challenge him. He's already celebrating. Finley Cottenham then kicks off his HFSBK campaign with a pole position on the BMW M1000R. Has Sutton won't be able to respond. Ross Maguire, the Sport Bike champion, goes onto the front row on the board, the CBR 1000, with a 34.045. But the thing is, Ross, he's never been that strong in qualifying. So I think he's a dark horse, but there's quite a few Hondas there. Look at that. All three Hondas of Ross Skis, and then Tom Kelly as well, aka Tleon, locking out 3rd, 4th and 5th, all quite close together, only a 1/10 of a second separating them. And then following that, you've got Alfie Cox looking a little bit off colour. Half a second off is certainly no mean feat for him, but on board the Aprilia might just be lacking that little bit that he needs to contend and find that extra half a second. Then you've got Henry's teammate Harrison looking to do the job and save some points, as we were saying, for Henry. But now going into this one, I think it's going to be a case of who can stop Finley, and following that question, we're going to bring it up to you, Jack. Who can do that?
I noticed he was on a hard. Now I don't know if he changed tyres from when he started the session to the end of the session, but he was on a hard rear. If he'd done that in the qualifying, like, that might do him good for the race, because if he's already got that pace on the hard tyre, there isn't that much of a difference. But put him in good stead for the race at least. So that's my hunch. But it's only half a second between first to eighth. So, and essentially, if you got the consistency, I can't see why none of the top 8 can fight for the victory. But we'll just have to wait and see. And interesting to see the tyre situation, because I expect to see a lot of hard fronts, but it seems like everyone was going for the soft front.
Yeah, that is an interesting tactic. In Ride 6. It's all a bit different to what most people are used to in general terms of motorsport, especially the fact that Ride 6 doesn't have a medium tyre option, so you're either going of one extreme or the other, and that will make some big differences in this race. But right now, we're about to get on the grid to get racing for the first time in HFSBK. You can see there Finlay Cottenham looking to make right of the loss of the Sport Bike Cup and take victory in this championship. But first, this first round, because we now get underway, and it's a brilliant launch from the Ducati Panigale V4R of Has Sutton, who looks to make trouble for Finlay, just like he did at Donington Park a few weeks ago at the final round of the Sport Bike Cup. The Hondas all running wide, struggling to get it in the right line into turn 1, but Harrison on the Ducati, all the Ducatis, whoa, one of the Ducatis, the pink one of Has Sutton, nerfs Finlay Cottenham out the way, and the favourite for this race win has now got a job to do, because he rejoins and comes into contact with another rider on the BMW. Who was that? That was Has the King, his own teammate that he battered out wide. But it's now 2 Ducatis at the front of this race that are both running wide, and it's Has Sutton who leads the way, ahead of Harrison, ahead of Skis on the Honda, who's now already being overtaken by Finlay, who have red mist in his eyesight.
Yep, so Has Sutton is in first, Harrison Day in second, brilliant start from the rear of the grid, and Finlay surviving that contact in third. We saw how aggressive he was, we were saying earlier how aggressive he was in the sport bike, and he's brought that aggression. He's been watching Chan Onchu in Super Sport at Fruxton, and he's copied his tactics. But see, the top 4 are pretty glued together. It's a 4-way train so far. Harrison very experienced in these kind of races in the Moto4 British Cup, and he will be used to be very fast in a straight line. But Has Sutton so far pretty clean and tidy, minus the barge on Finlay Cottenham, but Finlay getting a perfect exit out the final corner side by side. It's Bayliss and Hager from 2008 into turn 1, into change direction to turn 2, and Harrison Day holds out the second place, and Has Sutton going a bit wide through the second corner, and that has allowed Harrison to close back up onto the leader, as that is HP going really wide.
Yeah, I've been saying Skis, I think it's skills actually, so we'll stick with HP, it works better. But the Hondas once again locked together, as here comes Ross Maguire, the reigning champion in the Sport Bike Cup, trying to go up the inside, getting the rear wheel in the air. This is a bit hot from the Scot, and here he comes trying to get the cut back on his teammate. All track limits wherever you look there, grass even, as he's now going to try and look for the inside. That would have been a bit too brave, really, you have to feel. But Finlay Cottenham struggling to get by Harrison Day as he caught the back of the Panigale V4R, and I thought he went down there, but he somehow stayed on it. Wow, heroic efforts from the number 93 to stay on board his BMW M1000RR, and now slots in behind HP on the CBR 1000, looks to get up the inside, can't quite find the move just yet. Let's see what Finlay Cottenham has got in store for the rest of the race. We still have 7 laps to go, but it is Has Sutton who leads the way right from the off when he battered Finlay Cottenham off the circuit in the early stages. But you have to feel, really, I wouldn't give that a drop position penalty if I was the race director, because at that point, at that corner, you're coming into it so fast, you're in some ways better off to run off track, run wide and get back for the exit. Of course they're not allowed to do that, but it's not the worst situation if you get battered off into that position. Finlay just got a bit unlucky because he found himself in the wrong place when he rejoined.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2.5 dozen, whatever you want to say. You've got to anticipate a dive into that corner as Harrison. Bit of track limits there, but Harrison's not giving up here, and I don't believe Harrison has even had a podium in one of these championships, so he'll be very hungry to get a podium and to avenge the disconnection of his teammate Henry.
Yeah,
but yeah, has Sutton doing a good job so far. Hasn't made too many errors, and but Harrison, he's piling on the pressure. He dropped about a second. That gap's already shrunk to about half.
Yeah, it's getting quite close now. Between this little group behind Finley, the Hondas, locked quite close together yet again. Ross at the back of this group following Tom, and then Willie Sham. Hey, we haven't mentioned Willie Sham yet. I think it was actually Willie Sham that had contact with Finley Cottenham at the start. I just didn't quite see him. You can see there running an orange bib. I don't know why everyone else is a newcomer here in HFSBK, so he's not exactly a stick in the mud, is he? But right now, he is trailing. He's in the middle of these Hondas with the meat in the sandwich between the two as Ross torpedoes up the inside, shoves him out of the way, and takes that top 5 spot. He, well, completely moved him out of the way and said, "Do you know who I am?" and put him back to 6th place. But Willie Sham, what's he doing? He's got a 10-second penalty to his name.
Oh my lord.
Oh no, what is he doing? What is he doing? This is just silly. And it's a shame we don't have race directors to stop this from happening. Because I think he's seeing red right now as Willie Sham. He's got a 12-second penalty to his name. But I'll tell you what, yeah, you're right. Harrison putting in a shift here to stay with Has Sutton, put the pressure on his fellow Ducati rider. Finley possibly just a little bit frustrated with how the race started and struggling to get back into the right state of mind, and maybe getting distracted by all these cuts from Willie Sham. Can't quite find the pace that we saw from him in qualifying. But look at the penalties from Harrison. Something that happens quite a lot for him. He said this to me at Silverstone at the Junior British Grand Prix, well, the British Grand Prix in general. Oh my goodness, what is Willie Sham doing? This is just silly. This is just silly as he nearly comes into contact with Has Sutton. This is silly. This is really not good. So hopefully he disconnects in the form of how Henry did, because he's now slotted himself into 2nd place, probably taking Harrison by surprise. But yeah, as I was saying, Harrison dubbed himself the penalty king in round 6, and he's certainly living up to that name. And as you said, yeah, not got a podium in the Sportback Cup, I don't think, at least due to penalties, of course, that he missed out on them. So he'll be looking to make that right today, and I think he might just be able to. He's got Finley Cottenham behind him, so in terms of general timing, he's sat in 3rd, and if these two start battling between Tom and Ross and the Hondas, then he could still be in the shout for 3rd, and that would be a great job from him to salvage this race weekend.
Absolutely. I just pray Willie Sham doesn't cause any problems, and I can already tell he's going to be distracted Harrison a little bit, because the gap has increased a little bit. Harrison's still keeping Has honest, but I tell you what, Finley, he has caught the gap. He was about a second faster than the guys in front of him. So this race isn't over yet. We've still got 4.5 laps remaining. This isn't over. Finley just needs to keep doing what he's doing, keep the pace up. Tyres are starting to shred 50% already. They are going to be absolutely dead by the last lap. But we have to wait and see what happens with these front 3.
Yeah, we will, because Willie Sham's certainly making a difference here, even just distracting the riders that he's battling, as Harrison sends him to the car park, tries to, and rightfully so. I've never been happy to see someone send a dive bomb that's nearly put someone in the wall. As Willie Sham completely messes up the next corner. Harrison, that was a heroic manoeuvre to shunt him into the wall where he belongs, at least for this race. And he's still got that massive penalty though, 2.3 to his name at the moment, so you feel won't quite be able to challenge Has Sutton, but he's certainly, well, at least not in race time, but on track perhaps. He's closing in. Finley Cottenham will be looking at this and licking his lips. He's seen that move from Harrison. He's now got a clear road ahead of him to chase down the Ducati, who'll be feeling the pressure. He probably knows that Harrison's got a massive penalty on him. He's only got half a second, whereas Has Sutton's also got 9/10. So if Finley Cottenham is able to put together the best 3 laps of his life, he could get within that half a second barrier to Has Sutton. But all this drama has allowed Ross to catch up. He's got 1.5 second penalty though, and that is a big difference to Finley ahead of him. But Finley's now got a 7/10 penalty, caught a bit of green there, but 2.5. Every time we look at Harrison, his penalty increases by half a second.
Yeah, it's definitely something he's got to work on. But I tell you what, Has Sutton is He's got a bit of pressure on him here. Oh, no, oh, that's all very wide for everyone there, and has went wide, and unfortunately Harrison, Finley, and Ross all followed him. But he's in that comfortable spot. But this trio, and Willie Cham has eventually disconnected. But these three, and Kelly's gone as well. These three, they are keeping him on. They're keeping him honest. He can relax, but he can't relax too much. If he could just set consistent 34s, that'd be good. And Harrison, there you go, guarantee that's probably now 3 seconds.
Yeah.
But the 2.6 is only getting a 10th. But yeah, so if these three can just work together for these final 3 laps, I think this is Hazard's to lose definitely. But you can never say it's over with 3 laps to go now.
Yeah, definitely not. With the reigning champion now making his way into this fight, you have to feel that he will make a shot for that podium. He might think that the chance of victories gone, and is now charging for the back end of Finley Cottenham. That got close. That got really close. Ross Maguire looking for a piece of the BMW M1000R ahead of him. He didn't get to have a battle with Finley at Donington Park at the finale of the Sport Bike Cup because he crashed on lap 1 and then found him on the floor on the final corner of the last lap and took the championship right there and then. And now we're seeing that battle materialise here. Is there going to be a dive bomb from the Scot up the inside? All the meanwhile, we're seeing Sutton able to escape, but that was super wide from Harrison Day, who runs onto the grass, rejoins right in the way of Finley Cottenham. This all plays into the hands of Sutton, who finds himself with a 1.5 second penalty. Finley Cottenham with a 1.3, and Ross, who goes down. Oh, he's made a big mistake there at that really long corner, which has decided so many races in the past, and so many battles already in this race have been ended at that corner. Willie Sham's run of disturbance was ended at that corner heroically by Harrison Day as they now come to the final corner. Finley Cottenham goes for the wider lines, try to get the cut back, respond to the V-Force power and see if he can get his M1000R ahead of the Ducati by turn 1. Let's see if he can do it. It's 1.3 now, his penalty slowly creeping up, and you feel that the win is definitely sealed and delivered for Sutton, and as you said, it is definitely his to lose.
Yeah, if I was Finley now, I'd just wait for the next straight, or just wait for the hairpin where Harrison's been going wide for the past couple of laps. I think it's deceivingly downhill, which is why everyone seems to be going top rack style into the corner. But tell you what, Harrison's had a fantastic exit out of the double rights there, and that's going to make it a bit hard for Finley to go through. He's going to have to rely on a mistake from Harrison, who goes extremely wide. But he will get a good exit because of that. But the gap will close, and here comes Finley side by side. Now, will Harrison not break himself like he's done for the past 2 laps?
We'll have to wait and see. It is going to be wide from Harrison Day, the number 15, once again making the mistake in that corner. Now Finley Cottenham closer than ever, the pressure mounting upon Sutton's shoulders, who is feeling it now. He was really wide there, you can feel it building on the pink and black Ducati ahead of these two that we're now on board with. Finley's doing everything he can to try and pass Harrison. He can't quite get through. The Ministry of Defence right now is Harrison Day for that second place, but a 2.9 second penalty. If it stays like this, we'll definitely see him finishing in 3rd place at the moment. 1.4 for Finley, 1.5 for Sutton, so they can't rely on the penalties anymore. That small advantage went the way of Finley, but now that is gone. He has to catch him on the road, and it's now the last lap. He's forgotten about Sutton, you have to feel. The challenge for the race victory is over, and he's just thinking about Harrison because he does not know the penalty is that big.
Absolutely. I mean, he can just sit here and take seconds like this, but he won't know. He might be able to suspect, but he won't know. But Harrison's doing a good job. He needs to force Finley into a mistake here. The top 3 is all but set. They just got to stay on their 2 wheels, and they will have the podium secured. Into the turn 6 hairpin, coming up to turn 7 hairpin, which is where I've been saying before. Harrison seems to struggle a little bit, but he's got that gap, so he can afford to take this a bit carefully. And I know it's a bit deceiving, but Sutton has come back to him a little bit, just relax on this last stop, and surprise, surprise, Harrison a bit wide there again. But I think on track he's on course to finish 2nd, but I think on the timing screen he will finish 3rd.
Yeah, I think he will. Ross is closing in on that little group, but it's not going to be enough for him. But Finley, his pace has dropped off a cliff. Perhaps the wrong tyre issue. I think so. Maybe the rear tyre a poor choice for Finley, because Has Sutton has gone with a hard rear. A hard rear for Harrison Day, and the soft rear for Finley, not proving winner today. But winner as he comes around the last corner, if he can just get it to the line. Has Sutton will take 2 in a row in this championship, from the Sport Bike Cup to the HFSBK Ride 6 Championship. Has Sutton takes a double here at Vallelunga, and it's followed by Harrison Day, who crosses the line in second but will eventually drop down to third due to his penalty. But that's his first podium in a very long time in his online racing endeavours, doing the business to try and take points out of all the rivals that could thwart Henry's chances of taking that elusive championship that still haunts him to this day. Ross Maguire, the champion, takes home the fastest lap of a 1:33.5. That is a brilliant lap from the Scot in race trim. But it is Has Sutton. What an astounding performance from him to deal with the pressure. It was an aggressive move at the start of the race, you have to feel, but he earned that move. He earned the right to lead the race because he commanded that speed, and he denied Finley Cottenham any chance of responding. Finley's best opportunity was to get away at the start of the race, make a gap with that soft tyre, and unfortunately, with how rough things went in those first 2 laps, he wasn't able to do as he planned and found himself trying to do catch up.
Yeah, he got caught napping in turn 3, and that was it. And tell you what, credit to Harrison Day. Last lap, he did his personal best lap, so that's why Finley was unable to get through Harrison, although it didn't really matter on the timing screen, of course. But yeah, brilliant race done by Sutton there, and well done to Harrison in his first podium in the season. And Finley, I think he'll be annoyed. Well, he'll be annoyed he didn't win, but second place, and with Henry not finishing as well, and Ross off the podium as well. You've got to look at the big picture. It's a decent result despite your second. It's not first, but it's the second place, second best position you can get.
Yeah, definitely a good ride from Harrison, you have to say. As Finley now joins us in the chat, the pole man who was the favourite to win, and we were just discussing there, Finley, about how important that tyre choice for you was, and I think the soft was just maybe the wrong choice on the rear, whereas Harrison and Has Sutton had the hard rear tyre, and yeah, unfortunately it just went the wrong way for you, didn't it, Finley? Because at the start, obviously, it didn't go as you planned. You expected to clear off and use that soft tyre to your advantage, but nonetheless, a good podium, a good second place to start the season, and with Henry not being around, some pretty decent points.
Yeah, it was good points. I'll be totally honest with you. I didn't feel any moments at all with the tyres. I just think Has Sutton were just absolutely on it. Fair play to him. He just cleared off. I did make a mistake at the start of the race. I mean, I think that probably ended it for me there, but I'm happy to be on the second place. So, yeah.
Yeah, some really good points. And for the rest of the season, who do you think will be your main rivals for the titles? Now that we've seen how strong Has Sutton is on the Ducati, how strong Harrison has been in that race alone, and a few people that are in the mix there, Ross on the Honda, and we still don't overly know the true pace of potential of Henry. But from this first round, who do you think will be challenging you for that title this season?
Well, I've been doing a lot of practice with Has Sutton. I definitely know he's going to be right at the front every single round, but I know he's missing the next 2, I think. So,
what a shame.
I don't know if he'll be a title rival, but I think he'll definitely catch up the points and he'll be right up at the front when he does the races. Harrison, yeah, he's really quick on superbikes. Henry, he's quick on every bike, and so is Ross, so you can't really put a foot wrong for them. So yeah, everyone's quick in it, to be fair. Recruit the right riders.
Yeah, it's been a really competitive round, to be honest. When you look back to the Sport Bike Cup, the gaps were a lot bigger, but just based off those first couple laps alone, I mean, the pack was quite tightly knit, and it was really impressive to see the high level on these superbikes. But thank you very much for talking to us, Finley. A great job to come home in second after what was a really disappointing start to the race. But a great way to start your season, to be honest, with something to chase, because you knew you had more in the tank. but you still got a good result for it. So yeah, thanks for talking to us, and good luck for the rest of your season.
Thank you.
And next up we have the race winner, Has Sutton, 2 in a row from the Sport Bike Cup to the Superbikes here at Vallelunga. A great ride from you from start to finish. You took it right to Finley on the first lap. The hard tyre on the rear clearly being the preferred choice, working in your favour. But it's not just that won the race. As Finley said, your outright pace was absolutely stupendous. In that middle part of the race, when it looked like that Harrison and Finley were starting to challenge you, you denied any chance of wanting a chance at fighting for the win in those closing laps. What do you make of that race?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, to be fair. But in the middle of the race, Will was cutting the track and causing a bit of chaos. It put me off a little bit, and I lost quite a bit of time, but then I gained it back. It's just a shame that I'm missing the next few rounds because I'm on holiday, but I feel like I could challenge for the title if I didn't miss them.
Yeah, well, if you look back to the Sport Bike Cup, that was 6 rounds long. Henry missed Magny Core. He competed, but disconnected in the first lap. So that was really unfortunate for him. But that saw him still in the title fight. So only 6 rounds, and he missed 1. But we have more rounds, and you're missing 2. So I wouldn't put it out the question, especially since you started the season like this. So
I hope so.
No, you're right. Yeah, we hope the best for your championship challenge. It'll be great to see yet another massive group fighting for that championship. But you'll be missing the next 2 rounds, so that will be Magny Core and Donington Park. So you'll be returning with us on the 8th of September at Road Atlanta. Do you enjoy that track? Do you think you'll go well there?
To be honest, I haven't really played it, so I'll have to get practice on it because I want to be back at the front as soon as I come back to have any chance at challenging.
Yeah, so I suppose that is the way to go, is while we have this time off, use it to practice all you can for the round that you'll be returning in. But you'll be sorely missed in the next 2 rounds. Harrison has even, but well, I suppose it doesn't really matter. But yeah. But nonetheless, a great job to start your season, and a good way to start and end. Enjoy your holiday, and we hope to see you back at Road Atlanta in fine form, fighting to get that gap back up to the top.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Well, that was the race winner, Has Sutton, who put in a great performance here at Vallelunga. And that is it then for HFSBK. Unfortunately, we couldn't bring you the R7 Cup, but that will come to you in the next round, next week. Make sure you join myself and Jack Hammer for Magny Core on the 26th of August. But for now, from us, it's good night and enjoy your